Caroline didn't keep you abreast.
All right, we've got it.
Are we up now?
Yes,
you can answer your question again?
Yeah.
Let's have that question again, Caroline.
Okay.
I like your outfit.
Thank you.
It looks like you made it from a sofa upholstery.
I actually got a vintage dress, and then we made it, put on the gold trim and everything. Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right.
Yeah, I was a big fan of American Flagg, and I wanted to sort of ask you about your vision of the future, because it seemed like it was very sort of informed by the time you wrote it, kind of 80s-like.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm absolutely. I mean, what inspired the book to a great extent was my utter loathing for the Republican Party and for Ronald Reagan in particular. A loathing that has only enhanced and increased as I realized that he's still dead and not coming back with any luck. But I mean, it reflected a real sense of the kitchen sink of my own career. I had not done comics for a while. I'd been working in paperbacks for some time. And I was wooed back to comics by money. And people who hear me say that, well, unfortunately, this is my job and my career. I did this for a living. And the opportunity was challenging, and I felt it deserved attention and a real commitment. So I basically put myself through 6 months of study and stuff. And the result of that was American Flagg.
Yeah, I really liked, Canada becoming communist and, just sort of how people thought that was going to happen at the time, and then Prince William, as an old man. But I also wanted to ask you about your changing art styles through the years, because when you look back at...
I sucked.
Really?
I sucked. I was terrible. I spent the first couple of years of my career really blowing chunks, because basically by the time I got the work I was actually looking for, I wasn't really equipped to do it. I never really was particularly wasn't very good. And it wasn't until I came back to comics to do American Flagg that I feel as if I had developed a set of techniques and abilities and skills that made it possible for me to do the kind of work that the work deserved.
I thought it was gorgeous. And
you're very kind.
Thank you. And you're doing more with digital.
For the past 10 years or so, we've been. It's part of the toolbox. Mm-hmm. But I still like messy, hard, wet work.
Yeah.
But I work with all sorts of stuff. We use Photoshop. We're working on CS5 now, but as an assembly tool for the most part, and as an additional tool. Sort of the way. I was going to make a reference which would make no sense to you or your audience, but that's okay. Next.
Okay. What are you working on currently?
Right now, I'm working on a new version of Buck Rogers. I'm halfway through the second issue. It'll be 4 issues for Dan Herman. It'll be out in the summer. At the same time, I'm also drawing a new series called Satellite Sam with Matt Fraction.
Awesome!
Matt Fraction,
yeah.
Which is a sort of a nasty, sexy crime piece that takes place in the world of 1950s children's television backstage. There were some pretty sleazy people working in TV back then.
Yeah.
And I've got the Black Kiss Christmas special coming up, because nothing says Christmas like Black Kiss.
Obviously.
And that's going to be followed by a sequel to Black Kiss, Black Kiss 3. This time it's even more disgusting. And a new series called Midnight of the Soul, which is a very spiritual roman noir.
Oh, that sounds kind of different from your earlier work.
It's about a man's search for redemption in 12 hours. It's great.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
My pleasure, Caroline. It's been a treat speaking to you.
Thank you.